The affordability issue is still there. The demand is extremely strong. And while it's strong for millennials, for potential first-time homebuyers who want to enter the market, we also need to look at seniors who actually do want to downsize into a smaller home. They may be empty nesters, but they actually can't find a property. So the demand is strong on both sides.
Diana, I guess this isn't a big surprise. Over the last couple of years, we've seen home prices rise by 5 to 6% every year, well above inflation. So maybe it's time for the market to cool a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen prices actually heating up this fall as there's been such strong demand. But this prediction next year that prices will flatten and potentially fall in major markets has more to do with the supply issue. If millennials are your major demand factor and they can't find affordable homes for themselves, then there's nothing for them to buy. They stay in the rental market or they only buy homes that they can afford. That's not really pushing the prices up. On the higher end, you have more supply, but you have less demand. I'd actually be curious, though, Jessica, you talk about this silver tsunami that is more older homeowners wanting to downsize. I keep hearing more about aging in place and multi-generational living in these houses that's keeping that supply off the market. Are you seeing any of the same thing?
They're staying in place, but the demand is there to want to downsize. They may have other individuals living in that home, but that really comes down to a limited inventory situation. And I want to say that the NAR forecast does show that rising home prices in 2020. We still predict that home prices will continue to rise because the demand is so strong. If there's any retreat in that, it's only at the very high end of the market. But really, we see for inventory so low and the demand as strong as it is, both for younger buyers and for older buyers who may want to move.
Diana, you've been doing stories like this for us on Nightly Business Report for so long now, and it would seem that rather than things getting better next year, they're going to get worse. This dynamic that exists between the younger buyers who were locked out of the market and the older buyers who are not budging at this point, right?
Right. And if we keep turning to the home builders and saying, well, if there's so much demand and so little supply, where are the builders? Right. And the answer that I get over and over again is, well, we are ramping up production. But again, it's still in that move up level or on the high end. They are trying to pivot to that entry level home. But look at the costs that are involved. Very high costs for land, labor, for compliance for new regulations. That's a big one. So home builders are saying they would love to get into that entry market. They simply can't due to costs.
So, Jessica, on that point, at one point, will the developers understand that the market dynamics are changing in the housing market and build different types of houses so more first-time home buyers can afford houses on the market?
Diana is absolutely right. They face a lot of limitations to put those entry-level homes into the market. They really are focusing on that luxury high-end market for condos and city centers, which are really not that attractive to many young families or for people who still want suburban living. It's really difficult to be able to convince them that these types of products, the affordable single-family home, is something that needs to be built.